Assalamu alaikum dear students, hopefully you're doing good and it was a great weekend you spent and you already worked on your worksheet. Today we would cover the remaining part of chapter number 6, that is related to the chemical bonds. Yes, when the chemical bond is formed, whenever two or more elements are bound together, with any mean, or they are looking together. For example, we see H2O, water, CO2, carbon dioxide, NaCl, the table salt. So how they are together? They are together by some chemical bonds, and they are now called the compound when they are together, right? So how they get together? They get together with two types of bonds. The first one is ionic bonding and the second one is covalent bonding. We would be covering ionic bonding today. So what is an ionic bond? As we discussed in the class, you remember that when we said that the electron is completely transferred to the next atom. Metals give their electrons and become cation, right? And the other atom, that is non-metal, is receiving that electron. For example, over here you could see sodium is a metal. It has one electron in its outermost shell, and chlorine is a non-metal and it has 7 electrons in their outermost shell. So sodium can easily give away the electron completely to the chlorine. So yes, sodium has given the electron in its outermost shell to the chlorine, and yes, chlorine now has the complete octet, means 8 electrons in the outermost shell, and so as the sodium too. Now both sodium and chlorine have become the ions, that is called sodium ion Na positive and chloride ion Cl negative, and both are now the stable ones. So why the bonds are formed? To get the stability. Yes, we have already discussed in the class and we are just revising the concepts more deeply. So ions, that's very much interesting concept, and you already know what is cation and anion and what is difference between them. Exactly, the positive ion is cation, and metals form the positive ions because metals has the tendency to lose the electrons. So always we would see this, the left side of the periodic table is denoting the metals, and all the members of periodic table on the left side, that are the alkali metals or alkaline earth metals, these all are the metals and they would be forming the cations, means they would be showing the positive ion because they lose the electron, right? And all the right side of the all the elements on the right side of the periodic table are non-metals because they always gain the electrons, and when gains the electron they become the negative ions, and that negative ion is called anion and the positive ion is called cation. Okay, so what we could we could generalize after this discussion. We generalize that when a metal combines with a non-metal, then it becomes an ionic bond between them. So this is how you can identify, if you are given in an MCQs 3-4 examples of different compounds and you are asked to identify an element with the ionic bond, how you will identify it? Yes, you will find out the compound which is having one part from metal and the other part from non-metal. And another hint I am giving you, you can see that the metal part is written first, and second and the second part is the non-metal part, means the left side of the compound is always the metal part and the right side of the compound is the non-metal part. So you can see ionic bonds form between a metal atom and a non-metal atom. That's the highlighted point over here. So they got the strong attractions between them, because positive and negative charges, they got positive charges and negative charges are opposite, and this is the physics rule that they would be attracting each other. The positive, the opposite attract each other, right? So positive and negative will attract each other, and they will get a bond between them. So let's see the example so you may get the better idea of it.
Ionic bond is formed between a metal and non-metal. This type of bond is formed by complete transfer of one or more electrons. To explain the mechanism of ionic bond, let us consider the formation of ionic bond between sodium and chlorine. The atomic number of sodium is 11. It consists of 2 electrons in K shell, 8 electrons in L shell, and 1 electron in M shell. To complete its octet, it should lose 1 electron from its outermost shell. The atomic number of chlorine is 17. It consists of 2 electrons in K shell, 8 electrons in L shell, and 7 electrons in M shell. To complete its octet, it should gain 1 electron. When sodium reacts with chlorine, sodium transfers its 1 electron to chlorine. Sodium donates an electron, hence it gets a positive charge, and chlorine gains 1 electron, so it gets a negative charge.
You can write this equation for your ease. You can write it on the book.
Since there was complete transfer of 1 electron, hence the bond formed between sodium and chlorine is ionic bond, and the product formed is sodium chloride, also known as table salt.
So this was the question. The table salt question was added in the in your worksheet. So hopefully you have worked on it. Okay, let's see another one that is related to the magnesium chloride, another example in your book, so you can work on it.
Next example of ionic bond is formation of magnesium chloride. Magnesium chloride means MgCl2. मैग्नीशियम के एक एटम एंड क्लोरीन के 2 एटम्स हैं। मैग्नीशियम के लास्ट ऑर्बिट में होते हैं 2 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स। तो मैग्नीशियम अपना एक इलेक्ट्रॉन इस क्लोरीन को दे देगा और एक इलेक्ट्रॉन इस वाले क्लोरीन को दे। तो मैग्नीशियम ने 2 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स डोनेट किए तो उस पर आ जाएगा 2+ चार्ज, एंड इस वाले क्लोरीन ने एक इलेक्ट्रॉन लिया तो इस पर आ जाएगा माइनस चार्ज, एंड इस वाले क्लोरीन ने भी एक इलेक्ट्रॉन लिया तो इस पर भी आ जाएगा एक माइनस चार्ज। सो इन दिस वे दे आर गोइंग टू फॉर्म MgCl2, दैट इज मैग्नीशियम।
So you can write its equations as well, as we have seen for the sodium and the chlorine. So you can write the equation form. So what you have to do in the homework, test yourself, page 87 on your neat notebooks, and for any questions you can ask me. Good luck. Allah Hafiz.